Greetings and welcome to another video from Exit Strategy. Yep, beautiful upstate New York weather. We're technically still in the winter, but I'm recording from just my phone. No mics today. Hopefully you can hear me okay. There have been times in the most recent past where the volume has been low and I forgot to either put the mic on or the transmitter, so hopefully I'll just get consistently better with that. Sometimes when you have the downloads, that's more pressing on you than the details of whether you're mic'd up or not, but everything works in conjunction. I understand that. Had a thought real quick. Didn't mean to record or make a video just yet, but have some things coming down the pike. But right now I want to talk to you guys about how when you're in the presence of dark energy, this is post-awakening for all you empaths that are awakened and are vibrating very, very high or high. So much so that your intuition is so on point till sometimes you wish that you could turn it down a notch. But it's not something that you determine. It's just something that you were gifted with, and that's a protective mechanism for chosen ones and empath, in case you didn't know. So don't wholeheartedly wish to turn it down. Just got to be able to know how to navigate around it. I guess my bigger point is when you're in the presence of narcissist, now that you're awakened, me myself, I don't really have to sit there and look at the 8 cues or character traits to define what a narcissist is in order to begin to feel not tired, not exhausted. That can happen too. But I'm pointing out something that's specifically unique to chosen ones awakened, empaths awakened. You begin to make a lot of mistakes. You begin to make a lot of errors when they're in your presence or around you. You make mistakes in ways that you shouldn't be making mistakes. And it could be something as simple as stumbling over something. I'm clumsy anyway, all by myself. But you sense that these people's presence is making you so uncomfortable. Not in a scary way. You're not afraid of them, obviously. You begin to start feeling a little bit detested. And because you're so detested, your emotions internally, you're not getting angrily outward. This is all happening within you. And I believe that this is what causes you to become actually hazardous to yourself. What do you do to combat that? I think it's best that you would recognize it first of all. And if by chance you can get some space between you and that person, if you or that those entities, those energies, it could be plural or just one individual. It could be a group, especially in groups. Say you're in the break room at a workplace. They're over there cackling and hackling and whatever and gossiping, backbiting and smearing and trying to measure up, verbally arm wrestling each other. They're in competition with everybody, even narcissists against narcissists. So what you would do in that situation, you just get up and just remove yourself. You may have your dinner, your lunch, you may have just microwaved it in the microwave. It is just paramount to you and your better health or your betterment to better help is a place you can go once you're awakened if you so choose to. Just gave them a plug, by the way. But you can get you some space between them. Get your lunch, get your dinner, or get your whatever, and go out on the picnic tables if the weather warrants it. Go out to your car. See, they're going to hate you anyway, so you might as well just start writing your line in the sand, because you need to distance yourself from this type of energy, because it can be haphazard, it can be hazardous to you. You can end up hurting yourself, cutting a finger off, because they'll do a couple of things. They'll distract you too and cause you to pay them more attention than the table saw that you're running, or the jackhammer that you're using, or the hammer that you're hammering with. And you'll hit your hand with that hammer and they'll be, are you okay? You okay? They won't even use that kind of intensity. They'll be like, you okay? Because what they're looking for is a reaction from you. They're actually compounding that injury with their insult. They're laughing inside when this stuff happens to you. So I thought it was necessary to talk to you guys about this, because sometimes I think a lot of us may not even be able to identify or recognize that this is the reason why we're making so many mistakes and errors. Just monitor and make sure, because if you're by yourself and you're making some mistakes, I found that it's easy to get your bearings about yourself and to regroup. Because people make mistakes, just generally speaking, but when you're with this energy and this energy is around you, you will be making these mistakes and you won't be able to identify or recognize that it's simply because of the energy that is in your space. And there could be instances where, let's say, if you're out of a narcissistic relationship, I've gone through this. I've gone through this, and I go through this sometime where I'm rushing, and I don't like to use that word, but we all rush sometimes. I broke my foot rushing. So I've since began to stop rushing so much, but I'm just talking generally. You're rushing and, in a real simplistic way, you're trying to get this done so you can go get that done. And you'll find yourself, or I find myself sometimes getting really frustrated with myself. And I believe that is, and I've never been that way in the past before narcissistic abuse. So subconsciously, I want to believe I'm subconsciously rehashing events, affairs, and situations, and the life and the length and the time wasted and this and that. And I hate to say time wasted because it was, but it wasn't. We learned something, educated ourselves through that experience. So it was a waste, being that we gave our time to all the wrong people. But they didn't anticipate that we were going to learn what we learned. They didn't anticipate we were going to wake up. And God, in His mercifulness, He did that for us. So I find myself doing that sometimes. I find myself getting very frustrated. I don't throw things. I don't get very vulgar or anything like that. It's just internally, I get very frustrated. And I've never been that way before. As you get older, you're supposed to become more and more patient and even-toned. But a lot of us in our old age, we don't get better, we get more bitter. And that's not the goal for empaths and chosen ones. We want to get better, not bitter. I just wanted to encourage you guys to do a little bit of soul searching with that, and just to realize that a lot of times when you are making these mistakes, it's not wholeheartedly just because you're making mistakes out of your own right. It's simply because of the energies around you, and it is making you very, very feel very, very awkward internally. So recognizing that and getting space between you and that energy is going to be important for you to continue to just thrive and vibrate high. Okay, guys, have a wonderful day. It's about 60 degrees here in upstate New York, but we're yet still in the winter, so enjoy the weather if you have it where you're at. And that being said, bless.